If you took Spanish in high school, you probably never heard a sentence like this. ¿Qué pedo, güey? Vamos a echar la hueva todo el fin. ¿Tienes chamba? No manches. You might not find words like pedo, hueva, or chamba in a textbook, but who wants to speak like a textbook? I'm Esteban, a Babbel Life teacher, and today I want to share 4 tips to fill your learning with the color and life of real-world Spanish. I'll discuss how to communicate in context, incorporate regional flavor to your learning, and move beyond literal translations from your first language. I'll also touch on the importance of speaking with real Spanish speakers and offer some tips on how to make that happen. But first, remember to subscribe down here for more videos about language learning. ¿Lo hiciste? Did you do it? Okay, then let's get started. In the real world, no one will ask you about the differences between the preterite and the imperfect. In fact, plenty of native Spanish speakers couldn't give you the textbook definition of those 2 forms of the past tense. But that doesn't mean they couldn't use them correctly. They have the advantage of a lifetime of hearing the language, but as a learner, you can take a similar approach. The most effective way to learn a language is using it in context, speaking and listening. There's no harm in looking up a grammar rule from time to time if you're curious, but the bulk of your effort should be creating opportunities to encounter the language as people actually use it. To stick with our past tense example, over time, with enough repeated exposure to the language, you'll develop the instincts to use the right verb in conversation without consciously analyzing the syntax of your sentence. Studying should supplement your exposure to Spanish, not the other way around. So instead of memorizing every verb that's irregular in the subjunctive mood, focus on putting yourself in communicative scenarios, interactive situations where you have something you want to express, whether that's ordering dinner or discussing the ethical dilemmas created by modern technology. If you can't find opportunities for that kind of communication in normal life, consider a class in person or online. I'll put a link up here to get started with a couple of free classes on Babbel Life where I teach Spanish. The technology and ethics example I gave a minute ago is actually a real topic we discuss in one of our advanced classes. Part of what makes Spanish so fun is the incredible linguistic diversity it contains. The Spanish in Puerto Rico is mutually intelligible with the Spanish in Colombia or Argentina, but they're far from identical. If you know you'll be spending a lot of time in one place or speaking with people from a certain country, consider taking the time to learn some of what makes that region's Spanish unique. In Colombia, for example, you'll probably use usted whenever you're talking to one person, no matter who that person is. In so-called standard Spanish, though, usted is reserved for formal situations. In some academic environments, you're taught a standardized version of Spanish as if it's the only correct way to speak. But if you want to talk with a tico from Costa Rica or a porteño from Buenos Aires, you'll probably hear verbs conjugated in the vos form. Your textbook probably won't show you that. It's also just fun to learn the different words that take hold in different parts of the Spanish-speaking world. One person's lapicero is another's pluma. Do you get on the autobús in the morning or the guagua? If nothing else, breaking out one of those regional word choices as a foreigner is likely to get you into some pretty fun conversations with locals. If you're interested in learning more about those regional differences within Spanish, check out the video up here. Slang can also be a part of that regional variety, although nowadays with the internet a lot of words cross borders. Slang not only helps form a connection with the people that use it, it can also keep you engaged with fun new words. There's a reason so many beginner students want to learn swear words in their new language. La jerga es chida, la jerga es bacana, copada. I don't know what I'm doing. If you want the real world Spanish, you need to start thinking in Spanish rather than translating from English. More easy to say it than to do it. Más fácil decirlo que hacerlo. It's actually not as complicated as it might seem. The more you can think in terms of communicating ideas rather than translating every individual word, the quicker you'll feel comfortable communicating with native speakers. Take a sentence like, I'm looking forward to it. Don't dwell on the vocabulary for to look or forward. That will probably take you in the wrong direction. Instead, try to think of how to convey the same idea with the Spanish you know. Depending on your experience, that could look a bunch of different ways. Estoy muy ilusionado. Me gusta la idea. Or simply, muy bien. At a restaurant, a native English speaker might say, ¿Puedo tener una hamburguesa? Literally, can I have a hamburger? There's nothing really wrong with that. The waiter will understand you, and that is the point of language, after all. But if you're trying to get to the next level of fluency, it will help to repeatedly put yourself in that situation as an observer and participant. Then you can get familiar with some of the more common constructions for ordering food in Spanish. ¿Me traes una hamburguesa? Yo quiero una hamburguesa. Para mí una hamburguesa, por favor. You can choose the phrases you like best or let the people around you be your inspiration. For some people, textbooks can be a good resource. For most of us, though, it's much easier to make progress quickly by speaking with real people. Spanish is very widely spoken around the world. Regardless of where you live, it's very possible you can go out there and meet some native speakers. This is the best way to really learn real-world Spanish. If you know native speakers, you can ask them about their favorite slang words, about their culture, their favorite films. It will also expose you to the natural flow of the language, including its rhythm and intonation and colloquial expressions. It can be especially effective to connect with people who share your interests. If you love flamenco or bachata, there are definitely Spanish speakers out there who share your passion. But if you love death metal concerts, guess what? There are definitely Spanish speakers out there who share your passion. Whether you want to discuss the NBA or anime, there are Hispanohablantes out there on YouTube, Discord, TikTok, and in the real world who are already talking about it. Talking to native speakers can also boost your confidence. In general, people are very receptive to others who are learning their language, and this tends to be very true for most Spanish speakers. Remember that learning a language is not just about memorizing rules. It's about connecting with people, understanding new cultures, and expressing yourself in ways you never thought possible. So if you're ready to take your Spanish from out of your head and into reality, try to put some of these tips into practice. Let me know any questions you have in the comments, and thanks for watching.